How does Kevin Systrom hire? Instagram is a dream brand for many. One, it is one of the best workplaces in the market. This episode is for candidates aspiring to be part of Instagram. In this episode, we will talk about Kevin Systrom's motivating and rewarding work culture to hire the best candidates available in the market. For more episodes, please subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon for notifications. Kevin Systrom is one of the co-founders of Instagram, along with Spiegel, Hughes, and Krieger, the newest social networking sensation to hit the scene. He, like the majority of youngsters, was very interested in video games. While playing the video games Doom 2, he even created several new levels. Eventually, he developed a strong liking of programming, and even while still a student.
I was a kid that just wanted to play with computers, and the second I learned that you could program them to do things, I got hooked. I got like the idea of writing programs to then do things and then have those things be useful was like an idea that it caught on very quickly.
He made significant progress as a programmer. He showed sufficient ability to be chosen for the Mayfield Fellows program, which allowed him to develop his technological abilities further.
Instagram came out of wanting to be my own boss. I was like, you know what? I want to work for myself. I want to work on ideas. I really hope I'm going to make money.
In preparation for his new career, he acquired a bachelor's degree in management science and engineering from the University of California, Berkeley. Kevin began his career as a technologist at Google and then moved on to a new business named Nextstop. As he was working at Nextstop, he was inspired to create the next big thing to hit the world of the internet. His colleague Mike and him first developed an application named Burn, which proved too sophisticated and difficult to use for the intended audience. Thus, the team was instrumental in bringing the current social networking phenomenon named Instagram into the world of social media. Instagram has become a term that does not need further explanation. Kevin's hiring approach is one of a kind. To make your first design hire, there is no set time frame. Each firm is distinct in its way. From the composition of the founding team to the most urgent demands of the organization. Blake Reary has worked as first designer twice. First at Relate IQ, now Salesforce IQ, then at Mode Analytics. There are so many elements to consider. Among the considerations are the sort of firm, the type of products, the identity of the founders, and the strength of their design and product sense.
We believe a lot in giving people the control to make sure that their space feels safe. So the ability to filter out certain words and comments, turn off comments entirely, block people that are making them uncomfortable or just being jerks, to put it really simply, is really important to us.
If you don't have the design knowledge, you need on your founding team. Bringing on a design hire early on may help you make more informal choices about your company's future. However, if you already have some design expertise in your organization, you may be able to postpone making a full-time employee for a while. On the other hand, an early first designer will assist you in moving more quickly and producing higher quality work. What does Kevin Systrom look for in candidates? Anyone who has worked in a fast-paced and certain atmosphere understand that the abilities necessary to be successful in an early stage firm are vastly different from those required more in a larger, more established organizations. It is especially true for someone making their first hiring in their field. Look for crucial soft skills in applicants prior to accomplishments in your early conversation to better understand what motivates them. Entrepreneurial. Many of the characteristics that make for great entrepreneurs are also useful for your early workers.
I remember studying abroad and applying for the Mayfield Fellows program. And I was so amped about learning how to make like websites that I made this thing called the Tree List, which was a terrible knockoff of Craigslist for Stanford. And I was studying abroad in this little like room, and I was like making the website in that room with no internet connectivity. But in order to push code out, I had to like go in the snow, like it was snowing in Florence at the time, across to the library that like just eked out free Wi-Fi out of their window and pushed the code, and it went up. And I still remember like people started using it at Stanford, and I was over there in Italy, and there was this like awesome connection with people. And what I realized then was like just the hunger to like build stuff and put it in front of people is really valuable as you get moving in entrepreneurship. And there's no reason you can't start.
A designer who is inventive and eager to experiment should be on your shortlist. Someone who is thrilled to the prospect of making something out of nothing should be your target as well. Even though a designer does not have specialized startup experience, these intrinsic attributes are frequently evident in self-initiated initiatives, where they have had to assess whether or not there is an audience for what they're doing. In responding to these questions, individuals know what it takes to start from the bottom up and establish a successful firm. Hire smart and passionate people. Smart individuals are passionate people. When you ask them what they are really excellent at and what they're really passionate about, they will generally be able to articulate in a way that inspires you.
First, I'll say I think I was spot on with the idea that it's all about the people, because that was my experience throughout building all parts of my team. Whether it was the group of venture capitalists we went with, whether it was our first employees, whether it was scaling out our teams, whether it was eventually choosing to work with folks at Facebook and partnering with folks there. I think somewhere in this, and I'm not sure if we're going to go over this clip, I say you often think about you're building a product, but actually you're building a company. And a company, one little slice of it is a product, and the rest is a lot of stuff. And a big part of that is team. It turns out that people are the reason that you either succeed or fail. People, it's not always the product. Like you can have a great product idea, but if you don't have a great team surrounding you, you'll stumble and you won't recover. And that recovery comes from having A+ stars around you. But as I reflect on whether it was raising money or hiring our first employees, I think your greatest challenges as a leader often come from people as well. And if you don't have the right team that gels, you're less likely to recover. Like I said, you're less likely to come up with the next great idea when maybe your first idea fails. Because let's remember, Instagram wasn't our first idea. We had ideas before that didn't work. And it was only because we had people with a wide aperture on what was happening in tech, like Mike, my co-founder, like Sheen, our first engineer, that we were able to pivot quickly into something that actually ended up working.
Whether that's about cocktail making or cooking or coding, smart individuals have life passions, and that's exactly what I'm looking for, says Kevin in an interview. They should be able to explain what they can do in 30 seconds or less. Products can become more sophisticated with time, but it's the marketing difficulty when it comes to launching and introducing a new product to the market. In an interview, Kevin states, you have to explain what you do, and people have to grasp it in seconds. This is the elevator pitch equivalent. In 30 seconds, tell someone your value proposition and what makes you distinct. In 30 seconds, explain why they acquire the product. You've lost people's interest if you go beyond that. What is it like to work for Kevin Systrom? Kevin, the current CEO of Instagram, is widely regarded as a visionary business leader. He has assisted the firm in growing by order of magnitude in terms of the number of workers, revenue flow, and market share since its creation. His leadership approach has helped Instagram become one of the most technologically sophisticated and innovative firms globally, mostly due to his vision and determination.
Every day I wake up and I get to work on the most amazing thing in the world. I get to change 700 million people's lives every single month. That's crazy. And I love working with this guy. It's a dream. It's awesome.
How does Instagram motivate its employees? The culture of the workplace may greatly influence employee satisfaction. Well, that's why Mike Krieger, the co-founder and chief technology officer of Instagram, says his firm engages in a unique activity to increase morale.
We basically stripped away everything and said, all right, if we want to just make this particular experience of taking a photo, sharing it, being really proud of it and excited to share it, and making that really quick, how do we make that incredible?
While pay can help you get new talent into the door, according to Glassdoor's research, to maintain them, the company must make significant investments into its workplace culture, such as enhancing caliber of its senior management and establishing career paths that allow workers to progress through the ranks of the business. Even the most substantial monetary rewards will become insufficient to satisfy your needs. Yet, the desire to advance your career, find purpose in your life, and feel happy might be almost unlimited. During an appearance on CNBC's Squawk Box, Kaufman explains, "We are talking about better colleagues, better work culture, more autonomy, more camaraderie around the workplace, not simply a fancy recreational space or free snacks." How does Instagram reward its employees? Instagram perks and benefits at a glance. According to Incomparably, when it comes to perks and benefits, Instagram employees place them above the average, placing them at the top 5% of all similar sized firms with more than 10,000 employees. Perks and benefits at Instagram are rated best by workers with entry-level experience and employees with 3 to 6 years of experience. Employees with 1 to 3 years experience. Benefits at Instagram include dental insurance, health insurance, vision insurance, in addition to 4 additional unique benefits in areas such as health and wellness, paid time off, among other things. Employees give their perks and benefits an average of 84 out of 100 points. What is the average salary for Instagram employees? Including base pay and bonuses, the projected average annual compensation at Instagram for full-time employees is $150,597, about $72 per hour, while the estimated median income is $155,581, which is about $74 per hour. Lead engineer, mobile development, and senior marketing manager are just a few of the job titles represented by the salaries provided by Instagram workers. A total of 4 pay records from Instagram workers are available on Comparably data. The average annual remuneration for Instagram executives is $229,481. According to PayScale, the typically projected remuneration for Instagram executives, including base salary and bonus of $316, or about $104 per hour. According to Comparably, there are 4 salaries linked with Instagram workers. Comparably, about 40 employees at Instagram rate their compensation as being in the top 5% of similar sized companies. On the other hand, 39 employees at Instagram rate their perks and benefits as being in the top 5% of similar sized companies.
You know, that in order to take care of the other 50% of stuff, that I needed to do less of that and find people to scale up. So replace myself. A mentor of mine likes to say, you know, you have to fire yourself out of the job. Like, how do you fire yourself and find someone to replace yourself, who's better? And there's this financial concept called leverage, right? We all talk about leverage, but let's think for a second about how we get leverage numerically, right? Like, how can you, with 1 hour of your time, produce 50 hours of work? Because when you're starting a company, it's 1 hour of your time is 1 hour of work. And your whole job as you scale is to find people to bring in and make it so that 1 hour becomes 5 hours. And if they're not so good, maybe it's 1 hour goes to 3 hours, or in the worst case scenario, it's 1 hour goes to a half an hour because you spend time debugging things and managing things. But in the ideal state, you increase your ratio of my hours worked to the output of the company of hours worked as much as possible.
Let's take a look now at the unique culture at Instagram. Positive workplace culture is one of which workers are consistently encouraged to work as a team, look out for one another, and provide the best possible results in every endeavor. Trust, respect, responsibility, flexibility, result orientation, collaboration, seamless communication, learning opportunities, and so on distinguish an average work environment from an extraordinary one, among other characteristics. 1. Instagram potential talents are discovered and pursued. An abundance of talents exists in the sector, and they are all searching for an environment in which their talents and skills will be exploited to their fullest potential. At this point, having a positive workplace culture is very beneficial. A positive workplace culture assists companies in making the most of their available resources, but it is also assists them in attracting fresh talent from all over the world. Instagram's most talented individuals are kept. It is one of the reasons why employee retention rates are much higher in companies with pleasant work cultures such as Instagram. In a work environment where people feel overworked or uncertain about their future, no person wants to be part of such a culture. They are looking for a work environment where they will be treated with respect daily and acknowledged for their vital contributions they bring to the Instagram community. Number 3, the job satisfaction ratio on Instagram is greater than ever. Working at a company where people are happy with their jobs is essential for many employees when selecting whether or not to stay with a company. Companies that see the value of investing in their employees' growth and well-being are the ones that have been fortunate in this situation. So why? It is because they are doing all in their power to ensure that their employees have high level of work satisfaction. Number 4, Instagram, you may be certain or clear of communication and collaboration. A healthy workplace culture encourages social contact and open communication, which leads to some very great outcomes in the future. If you want people to work together as a team, you must first establish trust.
To find a balance and a yin and a yang, right? Because later on at Instagram, we ended up taking some personality tests. It was a variant of Myers-Briggs. And what was really interesting is that my personality and Mike's personality were not the same at all. In fact, he's a divergent thinker, creative. I'm more convergent and analytical. And that's just one example of how we were kind of a yin and a yang. And if you dive down into the results, you realize that actually, like, that pair couldn't have worked any better unless they had those types of balancing traits. If we had just been the same persons, interested in the same things, I don't think the relationship would have worked as well as it did. But the interesting thing is where we start to agree. Okay, so here are the parts that we really agree on. One is you always want to solve a problem. Forget about the skills you have. So Mike was very technical. I was semi-technical, but more business-minded, and we came together, had this yin and a yang. But the fundamental truth was that we were both there to solve a problem in people's lives.
Having a solid business culture increases the likelihood of these occurring significantly. Number 5, employee morale on Instagram has been increased. Maintaining a healthy, productive corporate culture is one of the most effective methods to improve employee morale. It contributes to ensuring that workers are naturally happy and enjoying their time away from the office environment. Productivity increases at a faster pace than before. Employee productivity levels have consistently improved when a strong Instagram culture. When workers are part of a strong workplace culture, they are devoted and driven. Number 7, there is a considerable reduction in workplace stress. Healthy workplace culture has been shown to decrease workplace stress considerably and improve both workers' health and performance while they are at work. Companies with good corporate culture are less likely to have challenges connected to stressed or depressed individuals in the workplace. Instagram is one of them. Things to learn from Kevin Systrom. To achieve greatness, you don't need a large team. Systrom claims that his worst error, as well as his greatest strength, was keeping the team small. He said, "We weren't quick enough in employing people, but it was also one of our strengths. I'm not sure where we would have gone if we had employed folks sooner, but knowing what I know now, I would have employed people much faster, and I believe it's a faith that those people will treat your work with the same care and attention to detail that you did. In retrospect, I believe we could have reached that. I wish we have hired more swiftly, but given our success, it is difficult to say so." He goes on and he said, "Who knows? Maybe we could have been 3 times as big as the same time." We can say that Kevin's journey is inspirational and there is so much to learn from him. We hope you find this discussion helpful in planning and hiring and in your leadership strategy. That's all for today's episode. Links to everything will be in the description below. If you like our content, don't forget to subscribe and press the bell icon for notifications. This will help us produce great content for our amazing audience. Let us know if there is something that you would like us to discuss in future episodes. Please click the link in the show notes and you can address your questions directly to me. Thank you for listening and I will see you next week.